Now this is third act, scene first. Again this is North Parade, enter Absolute. Absolute. "'Tis just as Fag told me indeed, whimsical enough. Faith, my father wants me to force me to marry the very girl I am plotting to run away with." Now suddenly Absolute is very happy. He was very sad in the last scene because he was threatened to be punished by his father because he was not ready to marry with the girl whom he has selected. But now he is too much happy. Why he is happy? Because now it is known to him that the lady to whom the marriage has been fixed is the same girl. She is Lydia Languis. Fag has informed him. So he is very happy. And now he was surprised and shocked that his father wanted to force him to marry with the lady that he already loved. He must not know of my connection with her yet awhile, but he wanted to hide this relationship, that his father should not be aware that he loves the lady with whom he has fixed the marriage. He has too summary a method of proceeding in these matters. However, I'll read my recantation instantly. My conversion is something sudden, indeed, but I can assure him it is very sincere. So here he comes. He looks plaguey gruff. Father is very angry. Father, why he was angry? Because he was rejected by his own son. He was not obedient son. But now he has completely changed because he is informed that the lady is the same. Enter Sir Anthony. Sir Anthony. No, I'll die sooner than forgive him. Still he is very angry. He is ready to die rather to compromise with his son. Die, did I say? I live these 50 years to plague him. At our last meeting, his impudence had almost put me out of temper. He was out of temper. He was too much angry with the misbehavior of his son. An obstinate, passionate, self-willed boy. He is abusing his son, cursing his son. Who can he take after? This is my return for getting him before all his brothers and sisters, and putting him at 12 years old into a marching regiment, and allowing him 50 pounds a year, besides his pay ever since. But I have done with him. He is anybody's son for me. I never will see him more. Never, 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 never. He is very angry. He doesn't want to meet his own son. Now he is very sorry that he has taken so much money from him, and he is allowing everything in his life. But now he is very sorry because he is not respected by his son. He has denied his proposal that he has fixed with Mrs. Malapro. But Absolute has completely changed now. Now for a penitential phase. Sir Anthony, fellow, get out of my way. Still he is angry. Sir, you see a penitent before you. Actually, he is saying that he is repented. He is very sorry. So that's why he is there to meet him, reconcile with him, to compromise with him. I see an impudent, a scoundrel before me. Still he seems very unhappy. So that's why he is abusing, impudent and a scoundrel. A sincere penitent. He is expiating his crime that he has committed against his father. I am come, sir, to acknowledge my error. So that's why he has come to accept his fault. So he has committed a mistake before his father, and to submit entirely to your will. What's that? Now Sir Anthony is surprised how his son is changed completely, how he is penitent now, why he has come so submissively. What is the matter? I have been revolving and reflecting and considering on your past goodness and kindness and condescensions to me. Now he is making drama, that now as a son he is very sorry, and he was thinking of his kindness that he has offered him in his life, his goodness, his kindness, all the things. So that's why he is submissive now. Well, sir, I have been likewise weighing and balancing what you were pleased to mention concerning duty and obedience and authority. Just like a loyal son, just like an obedient son, he is behaving. But actually, he is behaving in that manner because he has been informed that the marriage has been fixed with the same lady whom he loves actually. Well, puppy, still he is abusing. He is surprised with this sudden change. When then, sir, the result of my reflection is a resolution to sacrifice every inclination of my own to your satisfaction. So the son is ready to surrender himself to satisfy the wishes of his father. But actually he is not sacrificing. He is doing all that because the lady is same. Why now you talk sense? Absolute sense. I never heard anything more sensible in my life. Confound you. You shall be Jack again. Suddenly the father is very happy with the sudden change in his son. He is happy because he is ready to call him his son Jack again. It means the compromise was made there. Reconcilement is there. I am happy in the appellation, Sir Anthony. Why then, Jack, my dear Jack, I will now inform you who the lady really is. Still now, he hasn't said the name of the lady. Now he is going to tell the name. But Captain Absolute, he knew already that this was the same lady with whom he loved. Nothing but your passion and violence, you silly fellow, prevented my telling you at first. Prepare, Jack, for wonder and rapture. Prepare. What think of Miss Lydia Langvis? So at last he declares the name of Lydia Langvis, that it is the Lydia Langvis with whom the marriage has been fixed. Langvis? What the Langvises of Worcestershire? Actually, he knows very well who is Lydia Langvis, but he is showing that he doesn't know about Lydia Langvis. Who is Lydia Langvis? I don't know. Where does she live? He shows quite there is no identity with her, acquaintance with her. Worcestershire. No, did you never meet Mrs. Malapro and her niece, Miss Langvis, who came into our country just before you were last ordered to your regiment? Before joining the army, there was a lady named Mrs. Malapro, whose niece is Miss Lydia Langvis. You don't know? Malapro, Langvis. He is assuming as if he doesn't know even the name of Mrs. Malaprop or Lydia Langvis. But the fact is that he not only knows very well, but he loves Lydia Langvis. I don't remember ever to have heard the names before. Yet stay, I think I do recollect something. Langvis. Langvis. He is emphasizing on his mind as if he has been trying to recollect the names, that who were these people. She squints, don't she? A little red-haired girl. Still he is telling a lie so that it should not be identified or discovered. A squints, a red-haired girl. Jones, no, it is not. Then I must have forgot. It can't be the same person. Jack, what think you of blooming, love-breathing 17? So this is 17 years girl only. Will you be happy to love her? As to that, sir, I am quite indifferent. Dekho, still he is showing that he has nothing to take with her. He is still indifferent. He has no meaning. So anything would be accepted. If I can please you in the matter, it is all I desire. He shows that he has surrendered himself on the wishes of his father. Whatever will be fixed by his father, he will accept readily. But actually, he is making just a drama. He knows her very well and he is already in love with her. So that's why inside he is very happy, but outside he shows that he is not happy. He has just surrendered himself to the wishes of his father. It means he is an obedient son. Nay, but Jack, such eyes, so innocently wild, so bashfully irresolute, not a glance, but a speaks and kindles some thought of love. That is a beautiful girl, that kindles love. Then Jack, her cheeks Jack, so deeply blushing and insinuations of her telltale eyes. Then Jack, her lips, he has been describing very beautifully the face of Lydia Languis. Lips smiling at their own discretion, and if not smiling, more sweetly, put pouting, more lovely in sullenness. Even the girl is appreciated. Her beautifulness is appreciated by father, so that his son should be ready to accept her happily. Absolute asides, because he was making drama. Aside means he is speaking, but it is not intended to listen by his father. That see indeed, well done, old gentleman. Actually, he has been confirming inside that is but the same lady, Lydia Languis. So now he has confirmed that actually it is Lydia Languis, 100% correct, the lady that he already loves. Then Jack, her neck, oh Jack, Jack, and which is to be mine, sir, the niece or the aunt? This is very humorous situation, that he shows that he doesn't know anything. He is still in confusion. So with whom the marriage has been fixed? With the niece Lydia Languis or with the aunt Mrs. Malaprop? No, this is very dramatic scene. Why, you unfeeling, insensible puppy, I despise you. When I was of your age, such a description would have made me fly like a rocket. The aunt indeed, oats life. When I ran away with your mother, I would not have touched anything old or ugly to gain an empire. Actually, he is making drama. It seems that he doesn't know anything. But now the father is angry little bit that his son is not happy to receive such a beautiful lady, and he is saying that he is confused with whom the marriage is settled. Not to please your father, sir. Actually, he has referred the history of his father, that his father has also done love marriage, not arranged marriage. So now he is commenting him that you have marriage not to please your father, not to make your father happy, as he is sacrificing his life to make him happy. To please my father, Jones, not to please, oh my father, oh so, yes, yes. If my father indeed had desired, that's quite another matter. Though he wasn't the indulgent father that I am, Jack, I dare say not, sir. But Jack, you are not sorry to find your mistress is so beautiful? Still he wanted to confirm that his son is happy or not, because he is going to marry such a beautiful lady. But Jack, he is not showing his happiness before his father. He is still hiding his happiness. Sir, I repeat it. Dekho, very obediently he replies, I repeat it. If I please you in this affair, it is all I desire. Not that I think a woman the worse for being handsome, but sir, if you please to recollect, you before hinted something about a hump or two, one eye, and a few more graces of that kind. Now, without being very nice, I own I should rather choose a wife of mine to have the usual number of limbs and a limited quantity of wag, and though one eye may be very agreeable, yet as the prejudice has always run in favor of two, I would not wish to affect a singularity in that article. Actually, he is showing himself as a good boy, as an obedient son of Sir Anthony, that even he is ready to accept the lady if she is one-eyed girl, but she has two eyes. Whether she is beautiful or not, it doesn't matter. She is ready to accept her. But the fact is that Lydia Languis is a beautiful girl and he already loved her. But he is not showing. What a phlegmatic sort it is. Why, Sirrah, you are an anchorite, a vile, insensible stock. You, a soldier, you are a walking block, fit only to dust the company's regimentals on oats life. I have great mind to marry the girl myself. She is such a beautiful girl that he wants to marry himself, but he has fixed the marriage with of his son to that of the lady. I am entirely at your disposal, sir. If you should think of addressing Miss Langvis yourself, I suppose you would have me marry the aunt, or if you should change your mind and take the old lady, it is the same to me. I'll marry the niece. Actually, he is commenting, he is making fun that if you will marry this lady, I will marry the aunt, Mrs. Malapro. Or if you are ready to marry Mrs. Malapro, then I am ready to marry this girl, Lydia Langvis. Upon my word, Jack, thou art either a very great hypocrite or but. Come, I know your indifference on such a subject must be all a lie. I am sure it must come now. Damn your demure face. Come, confess, Jack, you have been lying, haven't you? You have been playing the hypocrite. Hey, I'll never forgive you if you haven't been lying and playing the hypocrite. What do you mean by hypocrite? Actually, he is describing only that he should be happy to notice that she is a beautiful lady. But still he is showing his indifferent. He has nothing to take or give. He is only to ready to marry her, Lydia Langvis, on the order of his father. I am sorry, sir, that the respect and duty which I bear to you should be so mistaken. He is surprised that he is not believed in. Hang your respect and duty, but come along with me. I'll write a note to Mrs. Malaprop, and you shall visit the lady directly. Her eyes shall be the Promethean touch to you. Come along. I'll never forgive you if you don't come back, stark, mad with rapture and impatience. If you don't, egad, I'll marry the girl myself. So be happy. I will write a letter to Mrs. Malaprop that my son will visit your house and will meet the lady with whom the marriage has been settled. So this is the letter that is going to be sent to Mrs. Malaprop, and Mr. Absolute expects that his son will be too much happy when he will meet Lydia Langvis, because she is very beautiful and lovable. But he is in confusion. He doesn't know. The father is in confusion that son is already acquainted, not only acquainted with Lydia Langvis, but he is in love with her. So this is quite dramatic scene, no? That son knows everything. He is happy. Actually, he is hiding his happiness inside and showing that he is indifferent. He is surrendering himself before his father's wishes. But father is also happy that his son has accepted this marriage proposal, and now he will go to meet his future wife, Lydia Langvis.